Welcome guys to John's Football Channel. This is your post review of Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. What a game. What a disaster for this football club. We're actually in the worst possible position right now. I think we all know that this is probably one of the worst games I think we have all seen. Probably apart from the PSG. I think PSG game, we probably did a bit more on the ball basically. It was just a case of them actually hurting us. They had more quality up front. But with this particular game, we had nothing, absolutely nothing. We had no control. We had no shots on target, no goals. Everything went wrong for us. Let's take a look at the lineups, and let's see actually how everything was shaped up. So obviously starting up with Brighton, they went with Van Buren as the goalkeeper, Weaver, Vaneka, Broccoli, and Kadulu as the defense, and then Balbeba, Grob as the CDMs, Mina, Winsherwood, Matomo in the midfield, and then Rafa up front. Then we have to take a look at Chelsea. Obviously, if we all looked at the way we started up when the game actually started, we actually went with a back three. I believe it was the likes of Haito, Chalaba, and then I think it was Fofana. And then in the up fronts towards the wing backs and the CDMs was Cucurella, Caicedo, Lavia, and Gusto. And then we had Enzo, and then Neto, as well as the Lap up front. So I think we played with a 3-4-2-1 basically. I think that creativity wasn't bad from the team and from Rosenior, if it did come from him. I think it was an opportunity to catch the opposition off guard, not knowing what to expect from us. I think it did definitely scare them to know, okay, well, this is what actually they could actually line up with. I think they were worried. But as soon as the game was kicked off, it caused us more problems than them. We didn't know whether to press or to drop, especially with Caicedo and Lavia. I think they had that problem. And then also I think it was also a case of because we shaped up like that and we wanted to actually get the ball, it allowed us to go onto them and then allowed them to counter-attack us. And I think hence why there was a problem, because they obviously had wingers and their striker on our back line basically, and that caused a lot of problems for us defensively. And I think it actually put us into a negative headspace in terms of confidence and actually the firepower to actually know, okay, we can get something from this game. I think hence why we battled, and as a result of us battling, they ended up scoring the first goal. So let me know down below what you guys did. What you guys think about the lineup that we started off with. Do you think we should have went with it a bit more, even though we were losing 1-0 in the first half? Or do you think what would you have changed? What would you have made different in order for us to catch the opposition off guard, but as well as make us offensively solid as well as defensively as well? Then let's take a look at actually what actually happened as the game was going on. Obviously, they scored in the 3rd minute. I believe it was their right back that scored, Freddie Maduluku, and then Fofana gets a yellow card, and then we end up making some changes at halftime. I think this change, it probably was a good change in terms of positioning, but probably not the players. Garnacho did a bit better than he played against Man United, but still nowhere near the level of Chelsea Football Club. I don't think nowhere near even the level of a Premier League side, basically, not even a Championship time. Yes, there was times where he cut in a little bit and actually took a shot, but apart from that, what else did he do? Nothing. Majority of the time he was also offside. He didn't make these runs quick enough. He didn't actually have the opportunity to actually delay his run, represent the run to one of the midfielders. Okay, listen, this guy's actually making a run, let me play him. No. You want to stay on line with the defense, and by the time they noticed that he was making a run, he was already offside. And I think hence why He's been so poor for us lately, and I think hence why we all know that he needs to leave the season. If he doesn't, I think he needs to play with the academies. Then they'll end up getting their second. I think it was obviously unfortunate with the counter-attack. We're trying to repossess the ball. We're trying to rotate the ball around, basically, around the defense back into midfield. And by the time that actually happened, they'll end up actually getting the ball. And there was a counter-attack. And then Chalaba was basically left alone. And it was virtually 2-on-1. And then they ended up getting the second goal. And I think from that moment, we all knew it was a wrap. I mean, it was really a mountain to climb from 1-0, despite knowing us battling to actually score in the last couple of games. And now for us to be 2-0 down, for us to not only score one, but for us to score two was really a miracle. So I think hence why it was very difficult for us to get back at this game. And I think the players really knew this already, that they knew that we weren't going to get back. It is a question of also our mentality, especially with Sanchez. Me personally, I wouldn't play Sanchez for the rest of the season. I think Liam Rosenior, when he was talking about in his post-review after the game, he mentioned that it was nowhere near the level that needs to be for Chelsea Football Club. And I think it was true. I think there were certain situations where Sanchez, and I think I can also remember Fofana especially, there were times where they didn't necessarily need to send the ball out and clear it. They could have actually kept the possession, kept the ball within ours, and they didn't. They actually decided, no, let me just play it long. They basically played that childish indoor football and that stupidity of being so stubborn in their ways. They weren't willing to actually understand that there's better ways of actually approaching a certain situation and actually preparing for it. I mean, Sanchez knows he's going to be pressed. Calm down, breathe. Yes, you are being pressed. Okay, make an option. If you know you're being closed down, okay, put it out. But if you're not, focus, look for who's available, and then communicate. If you feel like, hey, listen, I need you to open a bit more, then tell Chalaba, tell Fofana, tell Gusto, tell Cucurella, hey, listen, I need you guys to drop a bit more. I need you guys to be actually more available to me so that I'm able to have more options in order for me to play the ball to you. And I think he didn't do that. I think there were so many times where I could see Sanchez having the ball and he would just clear it. And I think, there goes the ball. Now we have to defend again and hope for us not to concede, and then for us to retry again and actually try and score them. And I think also with Fofana, there was a time where he actually had the ball was played towards him, and then he was being pressed. And instead of him actually being calm and knowing, okay, I'm being pressed, but I can see there's a person open, let me play him the ball. No, he said just because it's a cool thing to do, to boot the ball. I think he just decided, no, I'm just going to boot it and for us to play it safe. And I think sometimes like that, it actually makes more harm than actual good. Then we end up seeing in the 72th minute, we end up seeing Mark Yu come on, which was a good thing. I think Mark Yu did a lot better than the lap. And then we also saw Lavia coming off, and then Diego Sugo came on, which is also a good thing to see. At least I think Diego Sugo actually surprised most of us. I think he's actually been doing a lot more better than we anticipated for him to do this season and in general. I think he's actually competing with the levels of the players that we actually have. But now, is that a saying that it's a good thing? Could it be that our levels have dropped so low that Diego Sugo is actually coming towards that level, and we're actually seeing him as a good player, when yet the players we're supposed to have as the starting lineups supposed to be, without question, creme de la creme players. But no, it's not that's not the case. And I think also with our formation, with our positioning, I think this season is exactly the same season as Frank Lampard's, I believe, his last season, where we were very open, very vulnerable, and all of a sudden we didn't, I think as a football club and as fans, we didn't know exactly how to get the best out of them. And then when Thomas Tuchel came on, he was able to tighten us up, make for us not to be able to be broken down so easily, and as well as create enough poison up front to actually hurt the opposition. I think that was the type of manager we actually need. And I think it's just unfortunate that the chances of us getting a manager like that is very, very unlikely the more the season goes on. A part of this, I think it was actually a good thing that we actually end up losing. And I think we hopefully, in a sense, we keep losing for us, for the owners to actually get the grips as to exactly how bad this thing is. And if it hasn't sinked in just yet, hopefully it keeps sinking in for them that this is nowhere near the levels of the way we need to be. Hopefully this is the last season that we have to suffer. Hopefully that I'm willing to lose the next 3 games. If it means that this is the last 3 games we have to suffer as a football club and as fans for our team. Then obviously in the 90th minute, they'll end up getting a silly counter-attack because I believe it was Gusten, I think it was Neto as well, who weren't able to head the ball, and it fell past them, and there was a counter-attack on the right-hand side, and he ends up playing the ball right into Danny Welbeck's hands, and he ends up slotting it in for the 3rd goal, and knowing that it's all over. So yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys think about this game. How do you guys see the game going? What are your thoughts on this game as well? Is there anything that you would have liked to add to what I've just said? Then if we take a look at the top-rated players, obviously was for Chelsea, let's start with there. Diogo Sugo is up there, Caicedo is up there, and Lavia is up there. I think probably they are one of the best. I think Sanchez could have been up there as well in terms of some of the saves. Some might argue that is his job to make saves, so we can't praise him every single day for a save that he was supposed to have made. I suppose that's true. But apart from these 3, I don't actually see anyone else that could have went actually and competed with any out of these 3 players that we have on the screen right now. Then if we look at Brighton, obviously with Gob was actually a good player. Vaneka also, I think, because we didn't actually do much. Delap didn't actually cause them much problems. And then Dululu actually managed to get the goal, and I think hence why with a clean sheet he was able to get Oswald as the man of the match. Then if we take a look at our possession and our stats, I mean, it was absolutely dreadful. If we take a look at our expected goals, they have 2.14, where with us we have 0.37. Shots on target, or the total shots, they had 15, we had only 6. 9 shots on target for them, we only had 0 out of 90 minutes. Not 1 shot on target. And then touches in the opposition box, they had 31, we only had 15. And I think we had 4 in the first half, only 11 in the second. So it just shows you how bad we were in the first half. And then chances created, chances missed, they had 2, we had 0. Big chances created, they had 5, we also had 0. Then fouls committed, they had 15, we had 6. That was the only good stat that we could clearly see that we actually had. So it just shows you how poor it's been for us for this season and for this game especially. Then he has another example of exactly how the map looks, basically the heat map of the balls and the possession and the touches inside the opposition boxes, the goals as well. Just shows you, I mean, we can really see 4 or 5 dots for Chelsea, and then you could barely can count the dots for Brighton that they had in our box. So clearly we were very, very much dominated for this game. And then also adding on this, I think for our next game, I would like us to win the FA Cup. I really do. Should we? That is another question. Let me know down below what will it be. Will we be able to even compete with Leeds? Is Leeds a level of Brighton? Can we compete with them? Can we beat Leeds? Seeing that we actually lost to Brighton now. Where do we actually deserve to fit in the Premier League standings? How many more games are we going to actually lose? Let me know down below what you guys think. But yeah, I think obviously at the end of this tonight and probably tomorrow and probably leading into the weekend, there's a very big chance that Liam Rosenior could be sacked, and he having to be the fall guy for Chelsea. So yeah, this is my post review of Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. Please like, comment, subscribe, and peace.